This is Benjamin. I am going to be doing another video today with a bot with my group. See how that works. Pretty much, yeah. And everyone who has subscribed already, thank you very much. If you haven't, and you do, I would greatly appreciate it. And I'm gonna share the link really quick with my group. I thought I had it set up to share it already, so it's gonna probably take a tiny bit longer than I expected to share it, but that's still okay. Just bear with me shortly. What I want to be doing today is playing against Pablo. The reason why Pablo is because he's a little higher than what I normally do for my group. My group is under 1,000, but today someone that wanted me to go over a few things. He's a little higher. He was in group for a few months now. Oh, okay, you're on. Okay, I was trying to get it situated to share with the group, but you're on already. I guess anyone else can join if they like. All right, yeah, I know. I definitely took what you said into consideration. I tried to figure it out, and I kind of messed around a little bit as I was getting ready. So I'm glad you like it. 1 second, I gotta type for the group. Okay. All right. Live chat. Okay, I have the live chat. All right, I have the live chat. Not on the screen itself. I have it somewhere else, so I can still read it. Even without the screen. I used to have the screen overlay, so I can read your guys' messages while I'm playing. So I had to use a different device for the messages, which is perfectly fine. All right, so we can get started. We're gonna do Pablo. He's 1600, and for gambits, he likes to play gambits and be very aggressive. So we're gonna try to find a couple moves. Custom. Do you want to be white or black? I am potato. Do you want to be white or black for this? White. Okay. Yeah, it's like a 2 second delay. So if you after you type it, if I ask again, it's because I didn't see it. That's okay. I'll see it 2 seconds later. All right. I'm assuming you like. I'm not sure what you like. Yeah. Of course not. Yeah. So do you like E4 or D4 openings? What do you prefer? And we're gonna pretty much try to go over different moves. And okay, D4. All right, let's go ahead. I don't normally play D4, but I know how to play D4 openings, especially because when I'm black, I have to learn a couple of things. So, all right. I remember playing the Budapest Gambit a lot. He likes gambits, so if you play C4, he might play the Budapest as black. I'm not sure what you prefer here. There's different ideas. Obviously, there's the London. There's, I forget what this is called. I don't know what that is. What is the? All right. So what move is that exactly? How are we gonna go about that? I never heard of the Trompowski. Never. But I definitely willing to give it a try. Bishop G5. Okay. I've actually had people do that against me as well. I've seen that before. Let's see how he handles it. All right. That's a little different. Normally when people do that to me, I normally just play D6 and not worry about it and get into like very similar to like the perk ideas. Now for here, I'm not sure what you normally play, but Bishop G4 looks like a nice move. H4 looks nice. Bishop F4 looks fine. Bishop e3 also, it looks a little weird, but if you want to fan kettle your bishop is fine. So it's really all right. Bishop h4 or h4. That's your two preferences. I personally I would like that depends if we're castling queenside or not too. I don't like h4 because of the trade here, but this pawn becomes really close to the king, and you should be able to do a pawn storm if you castle queenside. So if you want to if you want to do a kingside pawn storm, this is pretty nice. This would be nice. I would think that in the future you would be able to develop castle and just march your pawns up. That's my assumption. I never actually play these lines. Bishop f4 would be hitting the square, and eventually you can bring a piece into attack, and maybe even develop the queen to attack the knight to even bring your queen to this side. So I like bishop. You said f4. You mean like f4 or bishop f4? Like f4 looks well to me looks really dangerous. I'm not sure which one you prefer, but I think f4 is dangerous. I think bishop f4 will probably be better. Okay, that's all right. Just making sure. I like this type of attacking too. All right, Pablo. Pablo's developing his bishops. I mean his knights. Now, I'm not entirely sure what's really good or not. I don't actually don't like that. It's too many. Yeah, the knights will become really close to the king side if you push that. So f3 will kick a knight back, but that's it looks normally it looks dangerous, but even if he decides to attack with the queen, the bishop can come back. So that means normally I don't advise f3, but with this bishop here, it looks perfectly fine for me. And it also kicks the knight back, and you can actually get a pretty nice pawn center before you develop and castle queenside at some point. If that's what you're interested in, f3 or e3. E3 E3 looks okay too. Um, do you want to castle queenside or kingside? E3 will be more for castling kingside, and F3 will be kicking the knight back for tempo, but you're going to be castling queenside probably. So it depends on where you want to castle. Basically, do you want to do a pawn storm or not? E3 also gets the bishop out sooner, but this also gets a tempo, so it's worth it. So I want to go with F3. I like F3 a little better. And let's see how it works. If you're not used to it, we'll see how that works. Okay, that's pretty aggressive. I don't like it for him because it looks like a free pawn. Like you can just take it. I mean, I don't really see why not. Even if he does something like queen to h4 check and it's attacking the bishop and the king, as said earlier, the bishop can always go back and he'll be guarding the king. So it's perfectly fine. I don't see any reason not to take the pawn. I don't know if you like playing more aggressive or positionally though either. Like if you like playing more like if you don't like to be as aggressive or very aggressive, I'm not sure. I'm gonna go taking the pawn. All right, I think that's probably better. Try like other moves like f takes e4, but I don't really like it too much. All right, so we're on the same page. That's good. No? The description says he likes gambits, and he did not lie. He did not lie at all. Now the question is, all right. Oh, I didn't think about Queen E3 at all. Actually, it'd be nice to look into. We want to kind of, yeah, we kind of want to look at more than one move with ideas between each one to decide a move. That way, we get used to the idea of looking at different moves. That's very good for your chess. Now here, I like taking the knight. Now, it looks like a free piece. I don't see any actual drawback for it, to be honest. I think we should just take it. Like I said, he can't really do anything here with this. I mean, he can take the pawn back, but that's pretty much about it. I mean, even if you develop your knight, it looks like he might be attacking the square because he has queen and knight. So let's go over that. Take, attack, block, take. Queen to d3 will prevent the idea of trying to. Yeah, so that actually would be fine, I think. Yeah, I think F takes e4 is good. I don't really think it's bad. Like he has an attack, a counterattack, but the counterattack isn't gonna I don't really see it really going anywhere after queen to d3. If we just develop this way, it would be bad because after the knight, he'd be attacking this square twice, and even if he try to block it, so I mean, he can't even block it, but even if he can take, and then be check. So, but it's possible to stop it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it. Looks like it's possible just to take. Okay. And he doesn't have much going on here, so it looks like anything will be good because he hasn't had an actual attack anywhere. So any developing move should be fine. Knight to f3 is a good developing move. E3, even if he takes it, you can just bring your bishop back, and it will develop this bishop. C3 might be okay, but the problem with it is that the idea was to castle queenside, and you're going to have to move the king over more because this pawn is gone. So I don't like c3 very much. Yeah, I think the best thing to do is to move the knight over or e3 are my favorite two. I'm gonna go with knight to f3. Okay. I like queen to d3 for development. I don't want to do knight to d2 because it will block off the big queen. You can't develop here because the pawn, and I don't want to develop here because it blocked the queen. So I like the idea of queen to d3 here, just so that you get room for your knight. I mean, he can target the queen, but it's not like a target that's going to really cause a problem because the queen can still move. I mean, you can even go back to queen to d2 if he does that. So I'm going to go ahead with queen to d3. All right. And he did try to do that. So I'm going to go back just one square. This knight is kind of really out of place because it's attacking by itself. Okay. He's playing a little aggressive. He lost a full piece and he's really just attacking with his knight. His bishop's kind of in the game too a little bit, but we have 3 pieces developed. We're a little cramped, but we're up a piece. So what you do when you're kind of cramped a bit, if you have to, is trade. You're already up pieces, and if you're cramped and you trade, you're still going to be up pieces, and it's going to free your position a little bit. So I am thinking knight to a3. Well, the reason queen of d2 is because I want a castle, and I want to protect the square at the same time, and that's kind of why I wanted queen of d2. Yeah, that's the reason why. So, yeah, if he asks a question, you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to delete it. Like it's. I mean, other people probably are asking the same questions too. Like when you watch this over, they're gonna think the same question. You know. So I like knight to e3 here, and I like e3 still because the bishop can come out. So basically, it's activity, or I would just get ready to castle, but he has these two here attacking this pawn. So I'm almost tempted for b3, but I think it's too weakening. Yeah, I'm going to play knight to a3 and get ready. If we were to castle now, the reason why I don't like it is because knight can take the pawn and call it check. And then we go king of b1. And the queen can come out, and it looks a little dangerous. So we were preparing a castle queenside, but the engine, the way that he developed his pieces, it's almost like he knew we were going to develop on the queen side. So I want to wait a little bit on that and play e3 to bring the bishop out. We might actually have to castle king side because of what black has been doing, even though the plan was to castle queen side, because to me it looks a little bit extra dangerous. I think it's important just to bring the pawn up, bring the bishop out, and possibly castle king side because of the way he developed, which happens sometimes. Sometimes that happens, and that's okay. We just have to switch gears sometimes. I don't really see many tactics yet, so I'm not too concerned. Um, I mean, the only safe square is bishop g3. I don't know if I should play that right away or not. We have a check, and if we capture and he takes our bishop, we move up. Let's see something here. Let's say I capture, takes, attacks the bishop. Bishop moves back. Basically, what would happen is that we gave the piece back, but we have 3 strong center pawns. And we win a pawn too, so we'll be up 2 pawns. But I don't see a really. It looks really good positionally, but there's no reason to give up the piece. Like we could just go back. But giving up the piece will untriple the pawns and give us a really strong center. So I'm not sure. What do you think? Would you prefer a strong center, giving up a piece, winning a pawn, or we prefer to bishop g3 and keep the tension going and develop and just start and just castle kingside? What do you think? What do you prefer? Because they both seem pretty good. I don't. I this is definitely not losing. It's probably not the best move, but it's definitely not losing. And we have a monster center. So bishop g3. Okay, let's go ahead. They both are perfectly fine. So I would be happy to play either or. I just like lots of activity. So he attacks the knight. Um, Knight h4 is possible. Bishop check is possible, attacking the king. the same idea as before. It's just taking the pawn, and then if he takes, attack. This is really crazy. I don't see really which side to castle on, but I like different ideas here. They all seem pretty okay. Knight to h4 looks like the most natural move, just to save your knight. So I probably should go ahead with that. I'm not going to try to complicate it too much. I like lots of ideas, but you can go ahead and save the knight. I don't know if he blundered. I mean, no, they didn't blunder. After bishop to b5, he can just move his knight back, which is good for us because then we can castle queenside. Like, we've been wanting a castle. I've been wanting a castle. I mean, I've been wanting a castle queenside for a long time now. So this is be an easier way to do it. After bishop to b5 and he moves the knight back, it's possible to even move the bishop here to try to get a trade so we can castle. I think that might be best. And that would actually free up our position in our pieces and allow us to castle either which way. So I'm going to go ahead because I really like that move. I don't really see a reason to play anything else. Okay. Instead of bishop back, what about the knight? Because this pawn here is protected by our bishop right now, and we can actually come in for a check eventually. Like, we don't have to right away, but I think it's really, really interesting. I think it'd be really good, actually, to bring the knight into c4. Yeah, I kind of like that. I like it too. All right, he castles. We are up a piece. So if we like caught check and he took it, if he were to take it and we were to take it back, that would be good. And our bishop would be blocking it. So knight to d6. Okay. I like that too. I like it too. We also could bring this knight in. Knight to f5 is protected by the pawn. But if he takes back, the queen can take. But we have our rook in. Our rook can gain control of that. So I'm going to look at other moves. I'm most likely going to play knight to d6, but I want to take a look at a different move just to see what that might look like. This is protected by the bishop. Yeah. He also can castle and not use a threat that we have, but then again, he can take it. Might miss an opportunity. All right, let's go ahead. Now, with pawns that are doubled or tripled, if you can like remove the double or tripled, you probably want to. So I do see like taking with the threat of pushing, because that'd be a fork. That's like a big threat. So taking will untriple the pawns, and we would have the threat of pushing it to fork the knight and the bishop. So that's actually, I think that'd be pretty good. Castling, I don't really know if it's better to castle kingside or queenside. But both are very possible as well. But I like the idea of taking this opportunity to create a threat that can possibly be a fork. You know, the bishop is trapped. So basically, if we take right here, the bishop is trapped. He can't even go here because it's pawn, and he can't go backwards. This knight is trapped, is pinned. Like, he can't move it. So this threat here, he's going to have to take with the pawn. He's going to have to take back with the pawn. For sure. If he doesn't, he's in a lot of trouble. So I'm going to go ahead with that because it opens up just a little bit. He did castle kingside. So if I open, queenside. So if I open up a little bit, I can actually castle kingside and bring my rook down. So I kind of like that. And maybe even move my c pawn soon. So I'm like this. I'm going to take it and castle kingside very soon. I like that very much. And we can castle now. I think I don't see anything he can do right now to attack. I know his knight's still trapped. His bishop has some range now. His bishop definitely got freed up a little bit. A4. This is a lot. Let's see here. I don't see any tactics against us, so I'm just going to castle. I like the idea of bringing the rook in to either d1 and c1. This is a really interesting game. I know I'm up a piece, but for a second there, I thought I had another piece, but I don't. I thought knight takes f7 is a good move, but the bishop can take it, and I really wouldn't know what to do after that. I really wouldn't know what to do. So that's definitely not going to happen. Rook a to d1 looks like a good move. Leave this here because they have open file. So rook a to d1 looks like a nice idea. So I'm going to go ahead with that and get it going. That doesn't make much sense. I can just take it back with a bishop. And he can't take it because of this. He can't take it back. It looks like he just blundered a whole piece for no reason. So I'm going to go ahead and just take it. I mean, if he's blundering a piece, I don't see why not. And if I move this bishop away, he can take the knight. So I'm going to have to take it with the rook. I don't really have another move. Yeah, absolutely. Take the pawn with the rook for sure. For sure. Win the queen? I don't know. I don't know if it's possible. Right now, we're up 7 points. Like, he blundered a lot for some reason. Oh, earlier? Oh, I wish I seen how. I didn't see how to win it. I'm trying to move a little bit fast, but not super fast, but I'm not too slow either because that can be very boring. I know some people don't like to think too much, but here we're up 7 points, and we literally can just trade. Like, I can just take here, and I think that will be perfectly fine. We have a check. Oh, okay. If you like, when you have time after the video, you can rewind it and screenshot it to me and send it to my messenger, the PM. Like if you go back to where it was and pause the video and screenshot it for me and tell me the scenario you're talking about, I'll definitely gladly look into it because that would be yeah, if I missed a way to take the queen, I definitely want to see it for sure. Um, and I appreciate it too. All right. So here we actually can take the queen now. Knight to f5, check. And the knight is threatening the queen. We could take it now. So yeah, I definitely want to see what you're saying, but we actually can take it now. I didn't even realize this. But that's pretty cool. All right. Let's go ahead. The reason why I like doing these and not my own personal games is because it would be kind of like cheating. Like I'm talking and explaining things to you guys, and while I'm doing that, if I'm playing against a human being, and I right here I wouldn't have noticed this against a person because I wasn't thinking in terms of taking the queen. But since we're talking about it, I was able to see it and do it, and I probably wouldn't have noticed that in a real game against people of my level because when I think it's only my thoughts, and I don't think as much as obviously I need to be. Otherwise, I'd be a much higher rated. Um, I'm only like top 95%, which is still pretty good. I'm happy. But all right, let's go ahead here. Take. We can't pin it. We can pin the knight. The knight to the king. I don't see any attacks that he has. His rooks are pretty much useless. Yeah, queen f4 for sure. His rooks are pretty much useless, and all he has is a knight and bishop. And this pins the knight, and the bishop is the opposite color, so the bishop can't come in and defend the knight. So this is like really beautiful and very easy. Should be a very easy win. Knight to g6. The thing is right now he has a threat of taking here. So let's say we go knight to g6, and he takes that pawn. If we were to move back or move somewhere, he can call it back and make a queen. So right now he's in a threat of making a queen, and the knight is pinned. So I think just taking the knight first and calling check, and then taking the pawn is what I'm thinking about doing, just because of the queen thing. Because if we go knight to g6 and he takes here, I mean that's well, we can also just take the knight here and the rook, and then call it check. Yeah, good. Wait, yeah, and then bring the queen back to watch this pawn. But I'm not entirely sure how to calculate that either fully. Let's see. Check. Yeah, I don't see how to calculate that fully. I'm a little confused. So I want to make it simple. I'm going to take it, and after check, I'm going to take this pawn and prevent him from trying to make a queen. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I really like. I wish I can see it a little farther, but I really can't calculate that very well. Yeah, if you can't calculate it, it's a good idea not to play it, even if it's a great move. Even if the computer is like, it's an amazing move, because if you play moves that you can't calculate, you can lose like pretty badly, especially if yeah. So that's all right. This is definitely a good position right here. I'm pretty sure it's just probably a finish here, but I don't really see it. I mean, we can play queen to c7, attacking the rook, and getting ready for some type of mate. I know the rook would have to move. I'm not entirely sure how to coordinate. I need the other rook. Maybe bring it back here for a back rank mate. Maybe he would have to move back, or even here. Yeah, queen to c7, move here or here. I know most people, when they're winning like this, they don't even want to think. They're like, "Oh, I should just win." But every time you make a move in chess, like, it's not about winning; it's about thinking. And as long as you make sure you're always thinking, you're not going to make simple mistakes. Like, you could be winning and losing because you could think you're winning and end up losing just over that. Like, what if there's a back rank mate somewhere where he can check me and then checkmate me and I'm not paying attention, just because I think it's easy. I'm going to start with queen to c7. I do think there's a mate here. I'm kind of more going off intuition. I really think that I can bring my rooks around, possibly, and get a mate. There's also the idea of knight to threaten mate. He'd have to take, check, and that's mate. That's actually this would be a nice puzzle. And if he doesn't take, this is mate right here. Like, what is he gonna do? And let's say he moves the rook somewhere instead. What can I do then? Okay, so let's say knight to c7, rook to h8. Then rook to d6. The knight is covering the square, and that'll be mate. Okay, that's mate no matter what. I wanted to solve it like a puzzle because I like puzzles, and that's pretty much what you should do. Look at that. That's perfect. That is perfect. And rook to d6 was the idea. Let's go ahead with that. Okay, I did not actually see that as a defense. Will it hold? D8 check. Take, check, block, take. So it's still mate. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's why puzzles are super important. Like, you should always look at your games like puzzles. That was kind of fun. Actually enjoyed it. I don't know if you want another one or not, but I did enjoy that one. That was a really nice game. Yeah, my Chromebook is super old. I bought a used Chromebook just for this because I didn't have a Chromebook and I wanted to do videos, so I got a really cheap one. I had a friend actually give me money for it. It was only $50. But yeah, that's why the engine is really slow and it's like this for the analysis. So I don't really do computer analysis on here for that reason. So I hope it doesn't affect the bots. Like, what if the bots make mistakes because? No, it's based on the chess.com's engine, not my Chromebook. So yeah, it's really nice to sacrifice too. I like looking for checkmates when I think it's really overwhelming and I have a lot going on. Like, I want to look for a checkmate. Like, that's all I want to find, and I'll think of it as a puzzle. Like, is it 2-move checkmate? Is it 3-move, 4-move? Like, that's kind of what I'm looking for. All right, that's really nice. All right. Do you want a different bot or some puzzles? I can actually do some puzzles with you guys if you like. That was really tricky. I hope you learned something with that opening. That was actually pretty nice. Yes. 1600 Skyweb. Yeah, we're not going to do that one. Yeah, this one's pretty hard for me. I've beaten Julia, but once it gets easy, then I'll go to the next one. That's what I've been doing with the bots. Like I can beat them probably, but I don't want to play them yet. Like I want to wait until it's easy, then I go up. So that's why I like playing 1600 bots and lower, is because I got used to being able to beat them by trying to be solid. So yeah, I didn't beat these. I had someone else beat them for me in a group game. I actually beat Hikaru. I actually have that in a different video. If you look at my playlist for beginner lessons, it took me 2 hours, a lot of explanations. It was crazy. I'm not interested in trying to take that long. Let's see what I'm in the mood for today. Oh, saying unresponsive. Oh, there it goes. Play Hafu. I don't know who that is, but let's go ahead and play Hafu. Be white. All right. Oh, I already. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, there was like a small delay, so like I, you know. I hope this is all right. If not, I can always resign and go to that one. This is a 1500 bot. Shouldn't be too difficult. So E4 or D4. Let's go. You're a D4 player, so let's go with D4. Let's go ahead with that. D4, D5. I'm not sure what you like playing here. C4 is fine. Knight to F3 is fine. There's a lot of different ideas. Knight to C3. All right. I don't think I've seen that one. I really don't. I don't think I've ever seen that one. So we have Bishop G5 is possible. Bishop F4. Bishop F5. Bishop F4. Knight to F3. So you want Bishop F5 then? Or Bishop F4? All right. Jibov Okay. I've never heard of that. I think I've heard the name before, but I don't really know too much about it. I like Knight to F6 here. F3. The Knight to B5 is also possible, attacking the square again. I actually like this one. It's very aggressive. And it's attacking this pawn. Do you normally play Knight to B5 here? I'm not sure what your opening report is. I know you already worked on it before. I was trying to help you out with it. Did you decide on a move in this situation, or do you want to go with my move, Knight to B5? Okay. I think E3 is E3 the move here? Kind of makes me think about the London a little bit, but it has a knight here a little different. E3? Okay. That's what I was thinking. Like, I'm pretty good with book moves, even though I'm not yeah, I'm pretty sure it's to go back. I definitely won't go to A3 because the bishop will take it. So okay. Bishop B4. We have A3, which if he takes, we take back, and then we'll castle kingside. We have a open half open file here with the rook, which might be good. The bishop's already attacking the queen side. We'd have the rook over here. This bishop can come in and take, maybe. So we take the knight. Oh, okay. Bishop takes. I didn't think about that. That definitely does help a little bit. It's kind of the opposite though. It allows him to have this square, but our bishop blocks it. So that's actually pretty good. We can move queen to d3. So if he takes, we take back and keep our pawn structure. It's actually knight to e2. Knight to e2 works as well. So does I think a3 those two. Any of those things are fine. I was thinking queen of just in case he takes to not mess up the structure. But knight to e2 works just the same. Except you have a knight here instead of a queen. Maybe you want the queen here, maybe? I'm not sure. This kind of forces that. Knight to a4 is also possible. If you play queen to d3 and he takes, you can actually move your rook over, attacking the queen, and having control over the b. Knight to a4, okay. Knight to a4, that's all perfect. It's all perfectly fine. Those moves. Knight attacking the knight, so we have knight to c5. We also have b3. I like b3 better because you just drop a pawn for no reason. So I think b3 is probably better. I'm gonna go with that. I don't see the point of that because he can't. It's not like he can attack anything. He moves here, you take it. He moves here, you take it. So basically, all we have to do is play f3 and kick him. He doesn't have a dark square bishop, so you don't have to worry about your dark square becoming a weakness because there's no dark square bishop. And if he uses his queen to the dark squares, you have your queen to counteract it, and you have a dark square bishop yourself. So f3 looks like it's perfectly fine here for those reasons. Okay, that's a check. All right, I didn't think about that type of combination, but I still think it's fine. It's fine either way. It worked out just fine. Oh, I'm surprised. I thought he was going to take the knight. That's okay. I mean, the pawn. That's okay, though. He's planning on castling. This will prevent him from castling. And I'm pretty sure it will be very annoying for him. So I like bishop d6. Like, that's like... If we don't let him castle, and we're able to castle ourselves, put our queen in a good position, move knight to c5, we're going to, like, massively murder him. Like, he's not going to be able to defend very well. So I'm just going to go ahead with that. And obviously move the bishop back, keeping the pressure. I mean, I don't want to go this way because I want to stop him from castling. That's why I want to go bishop to a3. I think it's really important. b4 works too, but then you also have to worry about him eventually moving the pawns up. This kind of stops that. All right, now we should probably castle. And we have a lot of queenside pawns in good space, so we might have a good attack on the queen side pretty soon. Okay. I'm not sure what he's trying to look to attack here. I really don't know. I like knight to c4. And he can't castle, even though it looks like he can. Well, he legally can castle. If he castles, you can take the knight and threaten his rook. So I like knight to c4 as a threat. I really do. I like knight to c4 as a threat. So I'm going to go ahead with that. And he castled. And here you can just take his knight, threaten the queen and his rook. And he takes. And we win the exchange. So it should be a very easy win from here. But just because it's an easy win doesn't mean that the game is over. You still have to play chess. Because I can still blunder. So I have to make sure that my job is simply just to not blunder and somehow win. I want to prepare. Okay, that's perfectly fine. I'll go ahead and continue. I want to move my pawn up, switch pawns, and gain control of the open file and bring the rook in. That's pretty much my idea. Like, your opening is to get into your middle game, and then your middle game is what type of endgame I want. So what I want to do is I want to trade. I want to control the file, come up, bring the queen up, bring the rook in, take stuff, bring the queen in eventually, and just kind of dominate the 7th rank. All right, he's counterattacking the center. Either way, I think they're both fine. If I take here and he takes back, I can actually move my queen up and try to threaten a trade of queens, which is only good for me. Since when you're up in material, trading is good for you. So that's pretty much how that works. So I'm going to go ahead and offer a trade. He's attacking his pawn twice. He didn't accept the trade, but he allowed me to do the trade myself. And here, I want to defend the pawn. Now, I can always defend it with the rook, but that's a sad rook. I can defend it with the king. Like, that is perfectly fine. And I'm not worried about the diagonal because we already traded the dark square bishop. He only has a light square bishop. So as long as the king is on the dark squares, I don't have to worry about the bishop attacking the king. So it's perfectly fine. And also, the king is very, very good at fighting in the endgame. Okay? So we just take back. There's no reason not to take it back. All right. Let's move the pawn up. I'm trying to look at different ideas, but I think I can just safely move the pawn up and then continue. He's looking to pile up on the pawn. Even if I block it, he still can attack it. And I won't have enough time to defend it multiple times. So I don't think it really matters that much. So I am going to put my rook here. The computer's not going to fall for it, but the trap is back rank mate. So I'm attacking the bishop and threatening back rank mate, indirectly defending the pawn because he can't do anything about it. Okay, and now if I want to defend the pawn, I can. So that's a different way to defend pawns, is by attacking in indirect manner. So that like really made sure the pawn was safe. Yeah, you have to like. There's different ways to do things. It's really interesting when you figure stuff out like that. So now I want to attack the not attack, but pin the piece, come from behind, and attack and put pressure on a complete different way. Now the rook can defend it. Rook's defending both pawns. Attack the pawn. I'm not really going to be taking it though. If I pile up on the bishop, that would be really good for me. So I'm going to go ahead and try to pile up on the bishop. Because you can't really defend it because the rook can't get there. You know? So piling up on the bishop means you win the bishop. I would assume so, you know? So I don't see a way for him to stop it. Let's move the king out the way. And then win the bishop. And now go for his pawns on the queen side, so he can't make a queen. Because he can try to make a queen here. So you kind of want to prevent counterplay. Like I can try to go for checkmate right now, but why would I go for checkmate if I don't see a very clean checkmate? So I may as well, unless I can maybe do something now. Actually, I think I might be able to. So check. He can block. Check. It looks good. It looks good, actually. And I will be threatening this pawn, too. So I can actually come in and attack the pawn again. So if I have to. So it looks actually really good. I wasn't planning on checkmating him, but the way that he moved made me want to. And that would be check and mate. So that's a mate in 2. I can pre-move that. All right. I hope I was able to give ideas from the stuff that I've been sharing. I've been sharing a lot of chess principles and ideas. I hope that was good enough for what I've been trying to explain to you guys. So yeah, just watch it. And yeah, you can, if you're a d4 player, you probably wouldn't want to watch this a few times actually. So hopefully you like it. Like the video, subscribe as well if you haven't already. Share with your friends. And donate for sure. I mean, even if you don't donate, I'm still gonna make more videos because I do enjoy chess and I do enjoy explaining. So if you don't, I'm still gonna make more. I've been doing that for a while. So all right, thank you for your time.